I'd like to welcome you all again to another online marketing made easy with chariotmarketing.com. We're just going to go through today and talk about some fundamentals about online marketing as to why a website would pull up in a top position. Now, there are actually two reasons for ranking with a website. A website ranks for first relevance, which has to do with the keywords. Let's take a look at what relevance actually means when we're talking about a website and what we mean by keywords. So first thing to look at is the meta tags. Now, there's three major parts to them. The URL, that's the actual structure of the www, but it incorporates the backslash and then whatever is written after it. So if you have a page with products on it, let's say, and you needed those products to show up for a specific thing. Let's say you were selling like a Panasonic TV, and instead of it going to, www.mypanasonictvs.com /Panasonic, you have / 45867 whatever it is -48, because that's the number that you've given it. So instead, you'd change your URL structure to say Panasonic TVs or Panasonic televisions. That way it actually has relevance. The next thing that you want to look at is your title description. And what that is the actual page itself and the tags. You can actually change the title description and the page description. And let's get kind of a look at that a little bit. As you can see here, this comes from the back end of the site with the tags and the titles. And you can see how on a search where they actually show up, the description shows up just underneath what the title of the site is, and then the title itself goes above it. And so when it does a search, you can see that this is where Google and Yahoo and MSN actually grab their information from. This is actually the page source that we're looking at on the bottom section of this. That tells you where the keywords are at. Now, when we're talking about relevance and keywords as well, one of the things we want to talk about is content on your website. So the keywords that are actually in the text. So whatever you want your website to show up for needs to be embodied in your text. Now, if you cover that text up in some way, make it white, the background of your site is white, you make the text white to try to hide it from other people, so you can basically fill it up with a bunch of keywords. Google automatically reads that and they'll dock you for it. So if they see, because they can read the back end of your site and they can see that your text is the same color as your background, and they'll actually dock you for it, they'll even blacklist you and take you off. But let's look at a good example of text and keywords. This is a cupcake site, and in here you can see that there's keywords embedded in this document that talk about cupcakes, and then down towards the bottom you have a location keyword that actually talks about cupcakes in Las Vegas, because that's where this bakery is actually located. And from there, what that does is it allows the site to pull up. This is the bakery. I don't know if you can see it, but the area where the keyword actually shows up, it shows up as the first site on a Google search, but also shows up for a local search. So because of their tags and their titles and their location embedded in their content, it made it easier for Google to figure out who they were and where they should be placed. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about when it comes to a website that's second from relevance is prominence. Prominence basically means what's the prestige of the site. Google can't just go out and find out how many people have searched your site or how many visits you've had. Those types of things don't play a relevancy into anything as to where your site pulls up on its rankings. What they're going to talk about here is, as you can see, is the years that you've been online and your backlinks. Now, just talking about years online first, what that means is if you bought a website back in 1996 and you've had it until now, you've had it for about 14 years, which is going to give you a lot of prominence. It means that your business is viable and that your website's viable, that it's been able to stay in business for that long. If you just got your website yesterday, then you need to show by buying the website for at least a 3-year term that you've registered it, to show that you're planning on staying in business for a long, a year or a couple of months. Now, on the other hand, backlinks. Backlinks are the soul and heart. You'll hear about this constantly, people. Backlinks, keywords, and backlinks. But mostly what it comes down to is backlinks. But stronger than that are backlinks that actually mean something. Now here we have a Diggity Dog resort website for I think it's what do you call it? For dogs. And these are 3 different websites that actually have links from their website to the Diggity Dog website. The Diggity Dog doesn't actually link to them. It doesn't say, hey, check out our article in the Salt Lake Tribune or on this website. These are all separate websites to say, hey, we found that in this area where we live, this is a great website for taking care of dogs. You should check it out. And then it will link. It'll actually put a hyperlink built in their site that if you click on it, will redirect you to the Diggity Dog website. Now, if they just mention your name, it doesn't matter. It actually has to be the hyperlink to be able to click on it and go somewhere that actually redirects you from that point to the Diggity website. And what that will do is the more of these backlinks that you have, the better you are, because they're kind of like votes. All these websites are taking votes as to who's the best website. And more people that link to you through blogs, articles, manufacturers, wholesalers, that link to you as seeing you as a source of information, then that benefits your website, especially when they link to you and the content built around that link is about your website. So if these articles that are written in these links here, these websites talk about a great place for doggy daycare or doggy resort link to you, then your website then pulls up a little bit stronger for those keywords. They hold a heavier weight. If it was just a directory, it can hold some weight because of where the directory may be listed. If it's just a direct link website or just has a hyperlink to your site and doesn't talk about anything that your website has to do with, it carries a lot less weight in terms of being able to have the search engines redirect people correctly in your rankings. So if someone has a couple websites linking to them that actually hold information of value, then they will link correctly to you, and the search engines hold that weight stronger. So basically that's just a general search engine optimization, talking about the relevancy and talking about prominence. If you'll use those when creating your website, it'll definitely help you in future terms of setting up your website. Thanks again, and please visit our website at chariotmarketing.com.